Have you ever felt lonely, even while sitting with friends? Not alone, not isolated, just surrounded by people and somehow still empty inside. It's confusing, right? You look around and think, everyone's here. Why do I feel like this? Most people assume loneliness means not enough friends, not enough social life, not enough people around. But that's not really it. Because you can have friends, you can have a partner, you can talk to people every single day and still feel deeply lonely. That's because loneliness isn't about people, it's about connection. It's your mind quietly saying, I'm around humans, but I don't feel emotionally connected. Real connection needs two things, feeling safe and feeling understood. And if you don't feel safe being real, you can be surrounded and still feel completely by yourself. Here's something uncomfortable to admit. Sometimes you're not actually hanging out. You're performing. You smile at the right moments, laugh when you're supposed to, nod at the right times. You try to be chill. You try not to be awkward. You try not to be judged. Basically, you're running a small theater show called Me But Acceptable. And when that happens, your brain doesn't register it as connection. It registers it as effort. So you leave the conversation feeling tired or strangely empty. And you think, why do I feel worse after being with people? Because the real you never showed up. Only the polite version did. There's a specific kind of loneliness that hurts the most. It's not being alone. It's not being known. People might know your name. They might know your jokes. They might know your vibe. But they don't know your fears. They don't know your quiet thoughts. They don't know the version of you that runs on low battery. And when you can't share that part, you start living like this. I'm with people, but I'm carrying everything alone. That's why you can be surrounded and still feel empty. Now here's something sneaky. Your phone is messing with your sense of connection. Your brain evolved to feel close through eye contact, voice, tone, touch, shared attention, real presence. But scrolling gives you a cheap imitation. Your brain gets tiny hits of social stimulation without the deeper feeling of belonging. So you end up in this strange state, overstimulated but underconnected. That's why you can spend hours online, talk to people all day, and still feel lonely at night. Your brain basically went, wow, lots of activity, zero emotional calories. And this part matters. Sometimes loneliness isn't a flaw. Sometimes it's protection. If you've been judged before, ignored before, laughed at, or misunderstood, your nervous system learns a strategy. Don't fully open up. Not because you're broken, because your brain is trying to keep you safe. But there's a cost. You can't feel deeply connected if you never show anything real. You'll always feel slightly distant, even with people you like. So the problem isn't that you're weak. The problem is that your nervous system doesn't trust closeness yet. Here's what most people get wrong. The solution isn't more people. It's one real moment. One moment where you don't perform. One moment where you say something small but honest. I've been feeling off lately. I'm tired, honestly. I'm struggling with motivation. I feel lonely even when I'm around people. You don't need a dramatic confession. You don't need to trauma dump. You just need a small crack in the mask. Because connection doesn't come from being impressive. It comes from being real, safely. So if you feel lonely even around people, don't shame yourself. It doesn't mean you're unlovable. It doesn't mean you're failing at life. Most of the time, it means something simple. You're craving real connection, not noise. And that's not weakness. That's your brain asking for something human. If this made you feel understood, stay with me. Curious human. Now you know.